The people who have Parkinson's, epilepsy, other conditions of the brain, you are locked in by your disease. And almost always, disease means that you lose freedom.
It was frustrating. Go from, being a healthy person to all of a sudden, over a matter of a year or two, it just took me to the point where it almost broke me.
Parkinson's disease is a progressive degenerative disease where there are cells in your brain that make dopamine and they slowly die out over time. What those cells do is they affect other parts of the brain that control movement. And so there's a disruption in their ability to make movements. We call it slowed movements. Their limbs and muscles can be stiff. They can have tremor, it's a shaking of the limbs.
Got real slow, unsteady, as far as balance and just walking and coordination.
It can be really disabling, compromise their quality of life dramatically.
So now, and only now after that, comes that liberating force of science. Because medicine is science applied to disease. That's what it is. You have to understand the stuff that's happening in the brain to be able to fix the brain.
Ultimately, we know these diseases exist in the brain and that they are caused by changes in the brain. And what we're starting to understand more and more is that they're about changes in how different individual parts of the brain talk to each other. Basically, this is a breakdown in communication in a complicated network. If we could just get a small amount of change in the electrical activity, that might make a difference. And that's how deep brain stimulation works.
Deep brain stimulation is like a pacemaker for the brain. So it's like a little device that goes under the skin, like a pacemaker. A little connector wire goes under the skin into a lead that's implanted into a specific targeted structure in the brain.
We need to affect one really specific subcircuit, one specific connection that should be talking to each other but aren't.
And it's precise to less than a millimeter, basically. So what we do is we get an MRI beforehand, and then we get a CAT scan, and then I merge the CAT scan and the MRI together. It's like kind of like GPS, basically, for your brain. And that will give me basically kind of XYZ coordinates on the frame and tells me exactly where to go.
After you map it and get the lead down and you're testing it, and a patient's symptoms get markedly better, there's nothing better to me at all than having that experience with the patient.
When they found that target spot, I could just kind of feel my whole body. That rigidity just kind of went away.
For Parkinson's disease, we do have medication that can help people dramatically. But as time goes on, what happens is a medication dose you think should work and should allow my rigidity and bradykinesia to get better, all of a sudden just doesn't work at all.
The medication would, when it would come on, I could function, but it wouldn't last very long. It would go down, and then you'd be in this dip, and then you'd take another dose. It's taking 15 pills total during the day. And went on for probably, 3-4 years of doing this, and then Christmas Eve days, I got the call that I was accepted into the DBS program. So that was kind of my early Christmas present.
Right now, worldwide, of the people that would really stand to benefit for deep brain stimulation, just in Parkinson's alone, only 1 out of 20 actually gets the therapy. And I think that's where the decision comes in for people. Those people, I think, get to a point where they say, yeah, I can't do this anymore, right? I think then this is the time we should be talking to you.
This is just an incredibly exciting and powerful new era for these kind of implantable technologies. Using the same electrodes, same pulse generators, same everything that was developed for Parkinson's disease, we can go in, but this time we can go into circuits of motivation, of mood. We might be able to really do something to help people in a very different way than what something like a medications or a talk therapy can do.
For DBS, you're aiming to improve people's quality of life.
It's been a positive in my life. I only have it, unilateral, but if it comes to the point where it affects my left side, I wouldn't hesitate to do it all over again.
Our hope helping them and their hope in being helped is the same thing. That's where the confluence between a patient and a doctor, that alliance comes from.
I had the surgery. We had just leased some hunting ground down by Rusher, and prior to the surgery, I was having a tough time getting up and down those bluffs. And now I'm doing pretty good, able to get around and stuff. And now it's just a matter of getting old and the body wearing out, but I can deal with that.